Hello, my name is Mike from MikesCarpentryPlus. A friend just called me a little bit ago and said his water heater wasn't working. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you what you're supposed to do with when your electric water heater's not working. First thing I did was looked at the data plate, and it's right down, right up there in the middle of the water heater on the right. And it'll tell you how old it is. It's 20 years old, so it's had a good life, but we're going to try to get some more out of it. And the first thing that I did was check the voltage, and you take this top cover off. That cover right there, just take it off. It's either going to be a Phillips or it'll be a 1/4 inch drive usually, sometimes a flat, but normally the newer ones will be Phillips or 1/4 inch, but you just have the screw. Sometimes just one on the bottom. This one's got actually two because it's an older unit, but you want to take that top cover off, take your voltmeter, be careful when you do this because it was still hot to begin with, and I checked to make sure the breaker was still hot and didn't trip or anything. So you take your voltmeter and you see what kind of voltage you have at the top two terminals there of your top thermostat, and you should have about 244 volts, something like that, because you got from both sides about 122 a side, and it showed that it was working, getting the voltage there, and went inside to shut it off, and it started buzzing. The breaker did. It was a double 30, and so looked at the breaker, and the breaker's ancient, and so the first thing I did was put a new breaker in, and now I've got the power shut back off, because this actual unit is 20 years old, like I said. So the upper thermostat, which is right there on top, and the lower thermostat, which is under the cover on the bottom here, both need to be replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. First thing you do is make sure you don't have power. Put your leads back up on the top two right there. Check your voltmeter, and I have no voltage, so that's good. Power's off. You don't want to hurt yourself. So take this white plastic cover off, and what I like to do is, even though it's a pretty simple circuit, you don't want to put the wires on wrong. So whenever, this is a good practice for any time when you're taking wires off, whether it's in a furnace or water heater or whatever. I got a little marker here, and right next to it I'm gonna draw a little diagram of where those wires go on that top thermostat, just to help me out and the next guy to mess with it, which probably won't, just be a brand new unit next time. Okay, I've got it marked now, and I'm going to go ahead and take the wires off of this heating element right here. I want to make sure that both heating elements are fine also, and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to take these two, loosen up these two screws on this top heating element, and then pull the wires off, and then I can put my meter on it and see if I've got continuity going through that element. Okay, I've got both wires off. Now I'm going to put it on my resistance mode. Hear that? If that buzzes when I put it on that terminal there, on these two terminals on that heating element, it should buzz. Hear that? So the top element's good, and I'll go ahead and replace that top thermostat now, and then I'll go down to the bottom and I'll check that bottom element and put the bottom thermostat in and check that bottom element. Let's see. Since that top element's good, I'm going to hook the wires back up to it. Okay, pull that yellow wire out there. That's yellow. And then we got 3 up there, and that's 2 blues. Kind of move the wires out of the way a little bit. Now it's got a couple clips here on the sides, and all you have to do is just pull them out. And it comes right off. That's what your top thermostat looks like. It's got 2 connections on the left side as you're looking at it, and it's got 3 on your right. You want to make sure that the thermostat, put them side by side and make sure you got the same connections. You got 3 on the right side, and you've got the 2 connected here, and 1 there and 1 there, and then your controller, and then your little clips on the side here. See if it should go in there and stay in place. Let's give it a shot. Just push down on it till it clips into place. Okay, you heard it click, and I'll give you a little close up on that so you can see what I'm doing here. See that? Now all I have to do is hook the wires back up on that top one, close up that top part, and then we can go to the bottom. yellow one first. And that center one over here on the right has a blue and a black. The bottom right is just blue in there. I'm gonna have to go get some needle nose. I'll be right back. That top thermostat's a little shorter, so I need a little more of this wire here. Now's a good time to set your temperature. Look at where they've had it before, about 135. So we'll set this one 135. Put your white plastic cover over the top of that thermostat. Put your insulation down. And before I put the cover on, I'm going to go ahead and check it when I get all done. I'm not going to put the cover on yet. Boo! All right. take both screws out of the bottom cover. Oh, it just has one on top there. Lift up your insulation, take your cover off. And on this one right here, we're going to go ahead and check that element first. Take your wires off your element, put it on ohms. And we've got a bad element on the bottom, so I need to go get my tool and take that out. You'd shut the main off, the water main off. So since I don't have editing stuff right here, I mean for this video, I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. I'll do a part 2 when I have the water main shut off, and I'll show you how to take that bottom element out. So I'm Mike from MikesCarpentryPlus, and as always, if you want a cat or a dog, please rescue one to your local animal shelter. And if you have a cat or dog, please get them spayed and or neutered. And I'll see you in part 2 of this water heater fix. Bye.